Power, and I am the National Head of Sales for Emergence, and I will be your host for today's webinar. Today's webinar is going to get personal cyber protection for families and individuals. As many of you know, Emergence has been providing commercial cyber solutions for over 5 years. For roughly 3 of those years, we've been working behind the scenes, developing what we think is the logical extension to commercial cyber, which is a personal cyber solution for families and individuals. A few weeks ago, we announced Australia's first standalone personal cyber insurance product, which provides cover for families and individuals in the event of a cyber attack. As a niche cyber underwriting agency, where all we do is service brokers and think about cyber, our pioneering spirit and focus on innovation has delivered an essential insurance policy for the needs of families today. In today's digital world, cyber fraud is becoming more prevalent. Personal cyber insurance can help cover the financial losses that occur online all too frequently. Many of you may be of the same mind because over 1,400 brokers have registered for today's webinar, which is the largest webinar Emergence have ever conducted. Let's not waste any time because we've got loads to talk about. Troy will chat to us about how dependent we have become on the internet and how exponential growth of web-enabled devices and social media has made us much more interconnected, which exposes us to the vulnerability to cybercrime at an ever-increasing alarming rate. You'll be blown away by some of the numbers. The legendary American Jeff Gunlin will get under the hood of the policy and give us an understanding of the extent of the cover provided. Tim Barrett will show us how you can bind a personal cyber policy in our portal in less than 30 seconds. And finally, I'll open your eyes to the wide variety of opportunities there are to sell and distribute personal cyber. There will also be opportunities for you to ask questions. I'm pleased to advise all attendees will be entitled to 1 CPD point for attending today's webinar. We plan the webinar to go for 50 minutes with an additional 10 minutes for Q&A. As a thank you to all of you who have joined the webinar today, we're running a competition to win a fantastic Google Nest Hub for any of you who follow us on LinkedIn or subscribe to us on YouTube between now and next Tuesday. I'll provide you with more details later. Before I hand you over to Troy, if you believe there are opportunities within your brokerage to build a personal cyber solution for elements of your business, send us an email at info@emergenceinsurance.com.au and put personal cyber opportunity in the subject line, and an Emergence employee will get in contact with you to start a conversation. Today, Troy is going to give you a greater understanding of our fascination with technology in Australia. When you see the number of devices we own and the amount of time we spend using the internet and social media, it's no surprise that financial crime in Australia is such a big issue. Sometimes I think the numbers are wrong because I think my children spend twice as much time on the internet as Troy will tell you. Now, many of you know Troy, who is the founder, CEO, and driving force behind Emergence. Troy is passionate about personal cyber and has been for many years. His picture doesn't really show you the amount of gray hairs he's developed trying to bring a cyber solution to the Australian market. I'll hand over to Troy.
Thank you, Jerry, for that nice introduction. Thanks very much, everyone, for joining us this afternoon. This is very exciting for us. When we launched the personal cyber product a couple of weeks ago, the feedback from the market has been extraordinary, beyond our wildest dreams, and to be able to bring something to the market that's been nearly 4 years in the making between all of us in the team, to have it out there and have the first standalone product in the market is very exciting for us. And just in the last couple of weeks of engagement with the market, there's a plethora of opportunities out there, and hopefully after an hour today of us talking, it's got your creative juices flowing and you can start to see some opportunities in the market to sell this to your clients. One of the reasons why it took 4 years to bring to market is we wanted something that was very broad in coverage, that was meaningful to families. We wanted the ability to offer meaningful limits, very high limits as well, and we'll give you some insight into that. It also had to be affordable. Families were on a budget, and we needed this to be at a price point that was easy to consume. And lastly, it needed to be easy to transact, and having an offering that doesn't ask any underwriting questions, trying to get Lloyd's capacity behind it, took a long while for Jeff to convince the markets that this is the right thing to do. So I'm going to set up some context, give you some figures, and then Jeff's going to talk to you about the mechanics of the policy. So technology has become a huge part of our life. The number of households that have internet connection has been climbing steady since 2004, and currently it's sitting around 86 to 88% households in Australia that have access to internet. Along with that access, families have never been more vulnerable to the impacts or the exposures to cyber risk. And it's only until now that they've had an opportunity to find a product that helps them mitigate those. And with COVID-19, we've all had turmoil in our lives. We're either working from home. The Emergence team have been working from home for the last 5.5 months. There's been homeschooling. There's been a plethora of things that we've had to respond to. And with kids doing Zoom meetings to do schooling, it's just a crazy, crazy time at the moment. And cybersecurity and cyber risk is at the forefront of families at this time. Just to set a bit of context. So there's 22.3 million internet users in Australia. When you look at households that have children under the age of 15, 97% of those households have internet. So very much it's the older generation that are unlikely to have internet connection, but those that are less than 60 that with kids, the vast majority of homes have access to the internet. We have nearly 33 million mobile phone connections. When you think that there's only 25 million population in Australia, and a lot of those are kids, etc. You've got about 130% penetration of mobile phones for people that can use them. And we've got nearly 18 million active social media users. And in the last 12 months alone, there's been a nearly 5% increase in people actively engaging in social media. My dad just recently joined Facebook, and bloody hell, if he can do it, then it just shows you how easy that is. And social media penetration in Australia stands at 70% of us have access to social media, and I'll delve a little bit more deeper into that soon. How we consume the internet and our screen time. So the majority of our screen time is on smartphones. And when you think about people commuting, well, not lately, but people commuting, sitting at home watching TV, people are sitting on the couches and doing 2 or 3 things at once, and they've either got a laptop on their lap or a mobile phone in their hand, either searching things, engaging in social media and consuming TV at the same time. The average time spent on a daily basis using the internet is nearly 6 hours, which is a hell of a long time. And of that, nearly a third of that time is taken up by us engaging on our different social media platforms. So just on those numbers alone, it's a significant part of our day. It's a habit. just like we go to a coffee shop and get our coffee every morning. Everyone needs their fix of social media. And I heard on the news this morning that that WA have just released laws that if you touch your mobile phone in WA, there's significant fines that they're bringing on. So they're absolutely trying to change people's habits. Social media, it's playing a bigger role in our lives. And what I wanted to do is just show you that we all consume multiple platforms of social media. Now, the average number of accounts a user has on a social media platform is 6.7. Of the top 16 that we show there, I had a count the other day and I'm on 11 of those. And it's not hard to do when there's a mixture of private or personal social media platforms, and then there's others that are business bound that you communicate. And of the 18 million social media users, 82% of us are actively engaged, so we contribute to those social media platforms. And I guess the other 18% are there stalking ex-girlfriends and stuff from 20 years ago, keeping an eye on things. Now, digital shopping's a really interesting one, because I don't know about you, but the way that I used to consume digital shopping was if I wanted to buy something, I'd do my research online to look at the product and services that I wanted before going in store to see it in its flesh. And more often than not, by doing that, you go in there and a salesperson comes to see you, and you probably know more than the salesperson. But what's been happening over time is that people are becoming more and more comfortable to purchase online. So much so that if you have a look at that dark green box, the changes in behaviour just since middle of May. In April, look, there's nearly half of the households in Australia purchased something online, which is incredible. 80% of e-commerce growth in the 8 weeks following the WHO announcement at the start of March. And if you look at that, Easter in 2020 was the busiest period on Australian shopping history. So this pandemic has just supercharged the growth and the acceptance of digital shopping into our everyday lives. It's probably advanced at least 10 years. And it's very, very much, people are starting to become comfortable with it. And if you're like me, you probably consume too much alcohol and buying stuff from Dan Murphy's way too often. So while all the message around that is good, people are using technology to find efficiencies in people's lives, they can communicate freely with people on the other side of the globe. They can get their opinions out in the market very, very quickly. There's a sinister side to it as well. And criminals are grabbing on hold of that and finding novel ways to try to find ways to scam people, get money out of them, create havoc in people's lives. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but these are just a snapshot of some of the things that have happened in the last 5 months around that. Cyberbullying, there's been a 40% increase in incidents. Reported losses, and this is all from the ScamWatch website if you want to go there and consume some more information. But the growth in scams, all centred around COVID-19, has been massive, and we're seeing it even on the commercial side as well. So what can you do about it? So I'm not going to go through all these because you'll get the slides as well. But there's a lot of simple things that we can implement in our daily lives to make us more cyber secure, and that's basically securing our email, social media apps, often with passwords, two-factor authentication. Keep a watch out for scam messages. I'm getting them nearly on a daily basis, and I've got a slide next that show you one that I got yesterday. Use strong passwords. You've heard us bang on when we talk on the commercial side of the fence, having good practices and hygiene around passwords, making them long, not utilising the same password for multiple platforms. And the other thing we get you to think about is not connecting to public Wi-Fi, because you connect to those, then whatever you're doing on that laptop can certainly be intercepted, and they can grab hold of your credentials and wreak havoc. So always find a secure connection. If you've got your phone, internet data is relatively cheap these days, so just hotspot your phone and do that rather than plugging into public Wi-Fi. One of the things that we did when we launched the Personal Cyber is that we developed a white paper. One of the reasons we developed this white paper was we wanted to give you guys the tools and something for you to share to your clients to help educate them. We know that protecting families is more about avoiding financial losses. Imagine if all your photos of your children got locked up, your personal email list was stolen, and all of your friends on that email list were impacted because of someone of you being scammed. A lot of Australians are unaware around what's happening in cyberspace, and one of the things that we hope out of developing this product is that we start to talk about cybersecurity more at home. We make our children aware of it. We get them thinking about what's their digital footprint look like, and what can they do to mitigate it. There's simple things you can do to help mitigate the complexity that could come in your life as a result of being hacked. We always, from a property perspective, we always safeguard our physical belongings. We either lock our doors, or we keep our wallets in our back pocket, and we keep them near to us. We need to take the same care with our digital devices, our accounts, how we engage with family and friends online. And also, it's also a reputation that's in harm's way here. So developing the white paper was to highlight those issues. And when you're talking to your clients, talk to their hearts and minds, because parents will start to think about how they can help protect their family rather than the dollars and cents in terms of how much the premium costs. If you haven't got access to it, you can download it off our website, or just ping us an email, and we're more than happy to flick it out. Now, just a quick snapshot of what we found. So there was 4 key findings from the white paper. So the very broad issues were around identity theft, online scams, cyberbullying, and financial theft. Identity theft, the numbers are extremely high. 22% of the population has been a victim of identity theft. It's substantial in the market. Everyone knows someone that's been impacted in some way, shape, or form. They either use it to steal money, they take out a loan or a credit card in your name, they could apply for a passport. It can not only destroy lives, but it could be an absolute hindrance in people's lives, and take an extremely long amount of time to help reverse what's being created. Online scams is another one. We show there the Australian Tax Office email. We've probably all seen those around the place. There's a huge dollar impact to families around falling for these tips and tricks. Ransomware also. So not only is ransomware rampant in the commercial space that we're seeing a lot of and helping our commercial clients respond to, but it's also happening to families as well. Cyberbullying, and this is a near one close to my heart, because if my children come home from school and showed me that they were subject to cyberbullying, I wouldn't know what to do. And one of the things that we're very big on was if we were developing a personal cyber product, we wanted the ability to be able to help parents respond and mitigate and get the affected child into a position where they were comfortable and they were building the confidence again to go back to school. Because we know through all the stats that 20% of children that go through school are subject to some form of cyberbullying. And there's the other stat there that we've got on screen is that 24% of those bullying involves social media and text messages. So you might be giving a phone to your child to make sure that if something is untoward, they can give you a call. But the other side of that is that some children are using that mobile phone to start bullying people at school. And financial theft. So the other way that I talk about this is it's the digitisation of the Nigerian letter scams that were around 10 years ago. And I've just put a screenshot into an email that I got a text message I got yesterday from a friend of mine called Anthony, saying that I had 25 million British pounds looking to be sent to me. So you click on that link, they get into your phone, and that's when they can start to wreak havoc on your lives. The other thing that I've had, and I'm sure a lot of people on the webinar have had as well, is pre-recording messages from the Australian Taxation Office telling you that you owe the Australian government money. Ring this number, otherwise you're going to get arrested and get thrown into jail. So it's the white paper is written in what you expect from Emergence, plain language, easy to consume, bite-sized bits of information, and something that you can definitely send on to clients to start building their awareness. Before I hand over to Jeff, I just wanted to put this up straight away. So the product that we've got starts with limits at 50,000. all the way up to $1 million. And you can see the annual base premium that we have there. So for $50,000 worth of cover, the annual cost is $99 of that policy, all the way up to $1 million worth of cover for $400. Tim is going to show you how you can bind a policy in less than 30 seconds, which is quite easy to do when you don't ask any underwriting questions, but more on that lately. Now, I'm going to hand over to Jeffrey. Jeff's been the chief design engineer, the lead architect, and developing this beautiful insurance policy for us. He's put a lot of heart, a lot of sweat into this, and it's fair to say that he's had more hurdles to jump over than Sally Pearson. So to run you through the heart and soul of the policy, I'll hand you over to Jeffrey.
Yeah. Thanks, Troy. Just before we hand over to Jeff, some very interesting stats there from Troy. We're definitely one of the largest technology users per capita in the world, but take note of what Troy says about passwords. When we talk to our forensic partners, they have access to compromised email addresses and passwords of about 12.3 billion people. And that information is from previous data breaches that have occurred. So there is a lot of information that's already out there. So changing your passwords is a great way of protecting yourself from criminals getting access to some of these historical data breaches and then hoping that you haven't changed your password. So Troy set the scene there as to why cyber threats to individuals and families is real. I'm delighted to introduce to you the man who taught me how to speak English properly, God bless him, and that's our very own Jeff Gonlin, who's the head of underwriting and product development for Emergence. Jeff's handiwork can be seen all over this wording. It has all those attributes of what's important to Emergence: clear and concise wording, packed full of cover. Before joining Emergence a million years ago, Jeff was with General Re as their regional chief underwriter for all casualty, facultative, and program business across the Asia Pacific region. I'll hand you over to the man that we fondly describe as the Godfather. Over to you, Jeff.
Well, thank you, Jerry. Very kind of you. And thanks to Troy for setting the stage. For those of you who are interested in the white paper, it's on our website. You can download it from there. You know, the trends were pretty clear already a few years ago when we first had the idea to bring out a personal cyber product. And, you know, the numbers tell the story. You know, Troy laid them out, I think, in spades. You know, today, the digital world, it's alive and well, continues to thrive as we migrate, you know, more and more of our lives onto the web. Thanks to COVID-19, this is happening much faster, and the future is coming, I think, sooner than anyone had anticipated. So the need is clear, and the idea is simple and timely to ensure you and your family against the risks from using smart devices at home. Now, a bigger digital footprint means a bigger attack surface. I want you to stop for a moment and think, how many smart devices do you have in your own home? Do you even know? Well, let's look at the numbers. Okay, well, Troy had mentioned this is a 100% Emergence product, and it's got. I want to make a couple of comments before digging into the actual cover itself. We surveyed some other markets, looked at what personal products were available. We weren't particularly impressed, and we've had some time over the years to reflect on exposures faced by families and the kind of cover that's needed. They're multifaceted, and we thought the only way we're going to build a world-class product is let's do it from scratch, and we did. It's the same, only different. As Troy mentioned, straightforward style. You'll recognize from our CEP product, our commercial product, same terminology, same sort of construction and layout, and many of the same conceptual approaches, but maybe with a different slant. If you look beyond the technical threats to digital security, that confront people and businesses alike, we see there are clear differences. Individuals and families also face threats, for example, from antisocial behaviors that are enabled and are really amplified by technology. Digital has become so pervasive. The exposures are multifaceted and calls for a holistic solution. Now, let's look at who and how we are actually covering them.
Go back a slide, Jeff. This one.
I'm sorry. Who's driving my slides?
It's pretty sensitive. Yep, there you go. Nearly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this who are we protecting? It's you and your family. You're covered for personal use of your home IT. So let's walk through these words and what they actually mean. You is this is a policy for people. You have to be a natural person. So no PTY limiteds. No trust partnerships, companies, incorporated, whatever. We insure real people. Who should you name as the policy holder? Typically you'd see the head of household, and your family is covered. So whoever is the householder's family there is also covered under this policy. The caveat here, of course, is they should be ordinarily residing with you at the home address. Now, what's the home address? Well, that's where the policyholder lives. It's going to be some sort of habitational dwelling, so no PO box and no commercial, address ought to be put in there. And it simply means your primary residence, where you and your family spend your time. That's your permanent address, what you put on your tax return, your driver's license. That's where you vote. Now, what do we mean by home IT? Well, that comes in so many flavors these days. We've got PCs, laptops, tablets, smartwatches, etc. Some of them are more mobile. Other ones, game consoles, Alexa, smart TV, your refrigerator, security camera. You probably don't take them with you. They're less mobile, but they're all part of your home IT. So you may think, geez, am I covered if I go to the shopping mall with my phone? Well, yeah, of course you are. Yeah, it's yours. You own it. As long as you're using it for personal use. That means not commercial, not on behalf of the business. If you run a business from your home, that's fine. We have other policies to cover you for that, and we'll be happy to do so. But this policy is about covering you and your family for your personal use of your home IT. This is, can I get the next slide? Here we go. Yeah, that's good. So let's look at how the policy responds. Some of the coverages that it provides. We can look at the different exposures people have. You face technical exposures in the social dimension. We live our lives online. There are criminal aspects and elements out there, looking to take advantage of us. We have reputations to protect, and of course, there are economic consequences when things go wrong. So you might recognize, from the technical, we've got cyber event cover, and you'll see that we've got a cyber event response costs that will kick in, providing you things like credit ID monitoring. We cover cyber extortion, data restoration, securing, etc. Virus extraction. You'll recognize that approach from our commercial product. We've simply adapted that for personal. Now, here's where we differ a little bit, is in the social, or really the anti-social behavior. This is where we've crafted a holistic response to these two anti-social phenomenon. So forensics and cyber security coaching, apply to both, as does a wage replacement benefit. For cyberbullying, there's also guidance sessions, and we cover related child minding costs if necessary. We take a holistic approach, supporting the not just the child, but the family in the broader context. For cyber stalking, and it requires a little bit different approach. That can, in addition to forensics, security coaching, and wage replacement, provide the victim or the insured a secure device if that's required, and it includes also some legal support. For example, arranging necessary protection orders and such. Criminal, Troy mentioned identity theft. That's a big concern globally. If you look at any kind of survey, and it's really a huge problem. We go beyond just the usual credit monitoring and identity monitoring. Those are commonly provided. Now, this can be a very disruptive sort of event if it happens. It can occupy days or even weeks of your time. We provide assistance and support in reporting and reestablishing the identity and your essential records. And we also provide the wage replacement benefit. For personal crime cover, it's all about the personal financial loss from cyber theft, simjacking, cryptojacking. You'll recognize some of the, it's a similar approach to what we've taken on our commercial. And there again, also you get the wage replacement if you got the cyber theft or simjacking into question. Reputation, ages ago, was it Andy Warhol said once predicted, in the future, everyone will have their 15 minutes of fame. Well, I don't know whether you've had yours or not, but everyone's got a reputation to protect. We'll help you, respond to that when it comes under attack. So, we've all heard of situations where someone threatens to post unflattering things about someone on the internet. And sometimes it can get ugly and serious. What can you do about it? Well, we'll help you figure that out. And, when something gets published, we're going to address that with the repair to e-reputation cost. We'll attempt to remove or mitigate the publication, and including some efforts to roll that back on major search engines to control or eliminate the damage. Now, I've mentioned wage replacement a couple of times. That would apply in cases of cyber bullying, cyber stalking, identity theft, cyber theft, and simjacking. It's pretty straightforward. If you're required to take time off work to address those issues without pay, then you'll be compensated with your wage replacement benefit. It's really controlling that economic damage, but beyond that, you shouldn't have to worry about lost wages because you have to take time off work to deal with an identity theft, or you shouldn't have to decide between missing work or taking time to help your child to deal with cyberbullying. That's very important. So we support you in that way. Let's go with one more slide. Now, you'll be thinking, this is a nice broad coverage, but with a wide range of responses and benefits, something for everyone. And that's exactly what we wanted to achieve. We think it's a world-class cover and provides great value for money. Where's the catch? Maybe there's a long list of exclusions that trim back, the coverage that was so generously granted. But let's take a look and see. They're really fairly standard. I should mention here, the BIPD. BI, of course, is bodily injury, not business interruption. But bodily injury, property damage is knocked out. Otherwise, we're looking at things that generally are uninsurable or against public policy, or that are insured elsewhere. There's known loss events. You don't write fire insurance on a burning house. Criminal acts, that's against public policy. We're not going to cover that. Nuclear terrorism, it's a first party cover, not a liability cover. They're fairly standard exclusions, wear and tear, utility outage. That's pretty common on cyber covers. I mentioned the business and commercial previously. If you want to have those covered, we've got other products for that. Sanctions, Health Insurance Act, Medicare, work comp, other mandatory insurance. Those are covered by other policies. So, it's fairly limited list of exclusions here. We think it's a great cover with great value for money. There's nothing onerous here on that list. By now you're thinking, geez, where can I get one? Well, it's only available through brokers. So if you don't already have a broker, you should get to know one. Now, I'll turn it over to Tim at this point then, and he'll show how in 30 seconds you can start to arrange coverage.
So thanks a million for that, Jeff. As interesting as ever. I hope you've got a greater understanding now of how much cover there is, and more importantly, the extent of the personal exposures we face in our everyday lives. And the thing that I like about the identity theft cover is it's not only about the credit monitoring, it's about re-establishing your credit reputation in the event that your identity has been stolen. And identity theft is about one of the most hideous things you can do to an individual. And as an individual going to a large financial institution and say, oh, that loan you've got that was never repaid, well, that's not really me. Well, that's a very difficult to have with a very large financial institution. But as an insurer, going to those financial institutions on your behalf and saying, Joe Blow here is collateral damage to a cyber identity theft that we're working on, it's a very different conversation. So as Jeff said, let's move on to talk about how you buy the cover. At Emergence, we're investing heavily in technology to allow us to develop the solutions we want to provide you and your clients. The latest expansion of the portal allows you to bind personal cyber online in less than 30 seconds. The man who has led the technology enhancement for Emergence is Tim Barrett. Tim is the bridge point for us in working with our technology developers. He's also, as you can see, very handy at keeping the average age of Emergence down to a reasonable level. Tim has been part of the Emergence family for over 4 years and brings a wealth of millennium experience and thinking to the team. Over to you, Tim.
Thanks, Jerry. Thanks, Jeff and Troy as well. You've set the landscape and made my job much easier. So as mentioned, I'm going to talk about the online portal. And when designing personal cyber for the Emergence online portal, you know, the criteria was simple. It had to be easy to navigate. The user experience had to be consistent with our commercial offering, so users didn't have to learn, you know, an entirely new system. And most importantly, a user had to be able to bind a policy within 30 seconds. So safe to say, I think we've achieved those goals. So when you first log into the portal, you'll notice a few changes. First, we now have 2 icons, which allow the user to create a new business quote for either our cyber event protection policy, which is the commercial offering, or our personal cyber offering. And when the user clicks on the personal cyber icon, they will be greeted with a quick disclaimer box. And this follows along what Jeff was talking about earlier. You know, the purpose of the disclaimer box is really to inform the user that personal cyber is designed for families and individuals. You know, the cover will not extend to any business or commercial activity. You know, for example, if you're a sole trader or someone who runs an Airbnb. And I guess once the disclaimer box has been read and understood, the user can click on the Create Quote button, which will take them straight into the quote screen. From here, the quote screen is broken into 4 sections. You've got policy details, policyholder details, cover, and then premium. But starting with policy details, 2 fields to complete here. You've got the inception and the expiry date. The policy can be bound with a policy period from 6 to 18 months, which is in line with our commercial offering. Secondly, there's the policyholder details. So 3 mandatory fields need to be completed here, which are the policyholder's first name, last name, and their address. It's important to note, you know, the policy, as Jeff mentioned earlier, automatically covers the policyholder's family members that reside at the address listed on the policy. We also have other non-mandatory fields, including email, phone number, and a secondary contact. We use these fields just for data capture and mostly for claims purposes. No marketing material will be sent to any of our customers. Next, you've got the cover section, and this is where we can select the cover we want to purchase. So this table is an exact replica of the table seen in our proposal form, but also seen earlier on that Troy demonstrated. To select an option, all you have to do is click one of the select keys on the right-hand side. And when the user clicks one of those select keys, the row will highlight orange and the premium will be displayed in the premium section below. So in this example, we've selected the $50,000 option, which has a base premium of $99. You can actually press the select key more than once if you just want to run through the various prices, and the base premiums will automatically adjust in the section below. The premium will also be prorated down here as well if the policy differs from 12 months. Broker commission for this product is 20%, but the broker can also add a broker fee, which will then be totaled on the total premium payable and also displayed on the policy documents. And once the user is happy with the cover and the premium selected, they can bind by pressing the bind key below. And once the policy is bound, that user who bound the policy will receive an automatic email from the portal, which includes all the policyholders' documents such as their schedule, certificate of currency, and the policy wording. But otherwise as well, within the actual documents tab of the system, you can preview any documents, select the documents and send a custom email to whichever email address that user selects. And that's basically it. So hopefully we can bind a policy within 30 seconds. If you or your brokerage would like access to the online portal, please ensure you email us at info@emergenceinsurance.com.au. Back to you, Mr. Power.
Thank you, Tim. So when you think about the personal exposures we face as individuals and families, there's many ways in which your clients can benefit from a personal cyber cover. So the obvious candidates for a personal cyber policy is your residential portfolios, of course. So that could be your home and contest clients, your personal motor, your caravan portfolios, your pleasure craft portfolios, your bicycle portfolios, just to name a few. So you can consider upgrading home and contents policies on renewal. It's also an opportunity for you to engage with your clients on the topical issue of cyber. But that's not the only part of the portfolio that could benefit from personal cyber protection. Your business or corporate clients are operating in an environment where their employees are often working from home due to COVID-19. Having the employee's home environment protected by a personal cyber policy would dovetail well beside a commercial cyber policy for the business that's insured with Emergence, so that the business has the confidence that if an employee's home IT is compromised, the employee has access to a team of cyber professionals whose job it is to deal with the cyber event and get the home IT system back up and running so that the employee continue to be a productive employee. When we were developing the personal cyber solution, broker feedback told us that providing personal cyber policies to employees as an employment benefit could be a nice way to show staff that their employer is not only interested in them at work, but also wants to make sure that their employee and their families are protected in the event of a cyber event, or worse still, an employee's child being impacted by cyberbullying or cyber stalking. In the event of these sorts of events happening, it provides peace of mind to the employee to have access to counselors, coaches, medical professionals, or other professional carers to deal with the issue. As the personal cyber policies are purchased by the business, they would be a tax-deductible expense for the business as well. In terms of schemes and associations, there's endless possibilities to develop personal cyber solutions for these. And we're very much open to exploring all these ideas with the view to developing a unique solution for those schemes or associations. Another area to think about is the member-based groups. So COVID-19 has severely impacted member-based organizations' ability to deliver the sorts of products or services that they would normally provide during a membership year. A number of brokers have seen personal cyber as an opportunity to think outside the square and provide members with a different type of offering at a time when the organization has excess funds due to the lack of ability to provide services or events that would normally be hosted due to COVID-19, like an annual conference or something. Again, this would be a tax-deductible expense to the organization. So as you can see, there's many opportunities where you can add value to your existing portfolio. It's been quite interesting to hear all the various potential schemes and association ideas that brokers have already raised to us, such as schools, which are obvious, ISBs, telcos, upsell opportunities, chambers of commerce, business groups, or even high net worth individuals and celebrities, where the reputational cover would obviously be a big issue. So if you believe there's an opportunity within your brokerage to build a personal cyber solution for elements of your business, just send us an email at info@emergenceinsurance.com.au and put personal cyber opportunity in the subject line, and an Emergence employee will get in contact with you to start a conversation. So let's talk about how Emergence can support your brokerage. Emergence are razor focused on supporting the broker community. We only deal through insurance brokers. So everything we do is about helping you have a better conversation with clients. And we try and do this in a number of ways. So we've now got the largest cyber underwriting team in the country with 190 years of experience within the team. And I'd like to thank Jeff for his small contribution there. We've got the website, which is packed full of information on personal as well as commercial. Our LinkedIn site is always posting information that's either knowledgeable to you as the broker or is interesting information for your clients to consider. We have the webinar series, which is a very popular thing with brokers and clients. And we do broker education sessions in brokers' offices, and that's all about building the cyber knowledge and confidence of brokers. We regularly post blogs and articles, and that's about creating content for you potentially to pass on to clients. And then we do client presentations themselves. So we spend a lot of time sitting down with brokers and their clients, whether it's a board or whether it's the CFO or it's the CIO or the CISO, explaining what the current threat landscape is and what are the exposures that the business should be thinking about. So that's the sort of stuff that we want to do to support your brokerage. We've also got loads of collateral. So we've built a personal insurance section in our website, which includes the policy wording, the proposal form, which contains the coverage limits and pricing, as you saw. There's a personal cyber brochure. There's a very handy 2-page policy coverage summary that breaks down the cover in very easy to understand for clients. And we've got personal claims examples to help you have a cyber conversation with the client. We've developed, as Troy talked you through, a personal white paper, which walks you through the exposures and talks about 5 scenarios that can impact an individual or families. And as you saw, we've got a new personal cyber portal for you to bind the business in less than 30 seconds. For assistance on any cyber-related issues, please feel free to talk to any of the team. We've got operations all around the country, as you can see. So reach out to anybody in your state, or just reach out to any Emergence employee. We're not precious as to who we talk to. In terms of gaining feedback, some of you may be aware that the insurance business is currently running a survey on what brokers think of underwriting agencies in Australia. This is an annual survey which asks brokers to rate underwriting agencies on various points, such as coverage, claims, technical support, and the like. If you value the coverage, the innovation, pricing, support, and education that Emergence provides you, please complete the short survey. It'll only take a couple of minutes, and put Emergence Cyber Event Protection Policy as your #1 pick in the top insurance product category and the cyber and information technology section of the survey. As an incentive to complete the survey, Insurance Business is giving one lucky respondent the chance to win a Samsung Galaxy Watch. The link is on your screen. However, we'll send you an email with the link after this webinar. We'd really appreciate your support. I said we were running a competition today. I first want to congratulate Christine Lyra D'Souza of Woods Midland in Perth, who won the June webinar competition. Today you can win a fantastic Google Nest Hub for any of you who follow Emergence Insurance on LinkedIn or subscribe to our YouTube site between now and next Tuesday, the 8th of September. If you don't already follow us, jump online now and click on the follow or subscribe buttons. We will advise the winner of the prize by email on Friday, the 11th of September. As I mentioned earlier, all attendees will be entitled to 1 CPD point. We'll automatically send these certificates out to the address used to register. Now, we've got a short bit of time. Troy, do we have any questions that we want to table today?
Yes, we do, Jerry. Jeffrey, this one's for you. I will kick it off. Ruth Ann asked a question: will the policy cover cyber theft of cryptocurrency?
Of cryptocurrency. Actually, no. It will cover your funds, but it will not cover crypto or digital currency, actually.
Cool. There's been a lot of questions around claims examples, and there's a question around claims examples with costings. So we do have documents with claims examples. They're on our website. However, as this is a new product and as of today, we haven't paid any claims, we can't put any costings to those claims, and we don't want to make up numbers. So all the collateral's on the website. So everything from marketing, collateral, brochures. There's a document that shows all the types of covers and the benefits that are provided. We have claims examples, and also the policy wording is on the website as well. If you have any issues, please ping us a note, or ping anyone a note, and we'll point you in the right direction. Another question, Jeff. Hopefully you can answer this one a little bit better. How does the policy respond to cyberbullying?
Cyberbullying, there's what we call an additional benefit, and this we take a holistic approach there. It will provide, as we said, forensics to figure out what is going on. You get some cybersecurity coaching measures you can take to handle that technologically. So there's the security coach. There's also critical guidance sessions, not just for the child, but also for the parents. And we encourage the more of a family approach to be supportive. There's the wage replacement for parents if they have to take time off. Meet with school, other authorities to deal with cyberbullying, and if childcare or childminding is necessary, then we'll pick it up as well. That shouldn't be an impediment to supporting your kid.
Cool. Thank you for that. Jerry, there's a question here around, can you provide a quote? Do you want to, so they can put the terms in front of a client? Can you answer that, please?
Yes, so we put a lot of thought into what the delivery of this product should be, and we decided not to have a quote process at all for this product. Because the prices are so cheap, we wanted to make sure that the ability to deliver this was very cost effective as well. So all you need is the proposal form, which in the proposal form has all the limit options, all the premiums, what the coverage is, and the stamp duty and government charges are all broken down by state, so that all you need to do is ask the client what do they want to buy in terms of the options, and then you as the broker can go into the portal and bind that in less than 30 seconds.
Thank you, Jerry. There's a few questions here around password managers and the like. So password managers is definitely something to think about to manage all your passwords. One of the things we recommend is that you don't use the same password for your work login, your Netflix account, and so forth. So LastPass is one that's quite good, that's out there. Jerry, you use another one, don't you? OnePass or something like that?
I use 1Password. Find it very good.
So there's a couple out there, but definitely that sort of arrangement.
They're the two leading ones in the Australian market.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Troy, I'll just hold you there for a moment. So I'm just mindful of time. We've come to the end of the official time for the webinar at 60 minutes. So for those of you who want to leave, this is the official end of the webinar. We've got a number of other questions that we're going to stay on and answer those, and please feel free to anybody who wants to continue to listen to the other questions. But for those of you who need to leave, thank you so much for your time. We know it's valuable to you, and we very much appreciate that you've taken the time to listen to what Emergence are doing. So Troy, over to you.
Cool. We'll continue on until we're only talking to ourselves, Jerry. Jeff, maybe this is one for you. Will cover extend to use of devices outside the premises for education purposes, i.e. if children have a BYOD device to and from school?
If the child has a BYOD,
Yep.
So if you go to school or you go to the shopping mall, or there was another question I saw here on the list, if you're traveling, those devices travel with you. If it's your it's your phone, you're using it for personal use, of course it travels with you, and you would be covered for attacks and such that happen while you're on the bus or in between or wherever.
Great, thank you. And while I've got you, just want to, there's a lot of questions around, does this policy cover businesses being run from home? Do you want to just talk to that, please?
No, it doesn't. We have commercial products for that. You should buy either a cyber event protection. That's our full coverage policy. Minimum premiums there start at $400. or you could buy a first aid. That's even cheaper. You may end up with two policies, but that's not unusual that you insure your business separately from your own personal matters.
And I think that's the point, Jeff. It's no different to other business insurances that you have for the business. They're designed for the business. This is designed for the private individual and their families.
Yep. Yep.
Cool. There's a question here around, is there ability to offer cover at a group level, i.e. school students, or would each student need to take out an individual policy?
Yeah, that's in the works, and we will be coming out with the group policy. There are lots of different ways to do that. If you have some ideas on groups that you would like to insure, talk with us, that's something that we're quite interested in doing.
So what we've released in August is phase 1 of personal cyber for Emergence. This is the start of a journey for us. So groups, schemes, membership organizations, associations, they're bespoke solutions that we will build for each individual client. So if you've got those opportunities, come and talk to us, because we're already looking at that side of things. So just send us an email about personal cyber opportunity and we can talk about it.
Yeah,
we're already having those conversations with brokers.
Yeah, I was just about to jump in there, Jerry. Absolutely, we're already engaging with a number of brokers around whether it's group or an individual policy based on the opportunity. So we absolutely can help you find us the solution that you need that's right for your client. And I just want to reiterate another example around where can I find the PDS. So if you get onto our website, which is emergenceinsurance.com.au, if you have a look on the navigation bar in the top right hand corner, if you click on that, you'll see commercial cyber and personal cyber. If you click on personal cyber, on that page there'll be the PDS, all the marketing collateral, the claims examples, the white paper. Everything will be there at your fingertips. If not, please ping any of us in the team an email and we'll sure to ship it out to you very quickly.
So Troy, can I just go back to that issue about passwords, because it's a critical issue. I mentioned that we've got access to compromised usernames and email addresses and IP addresses and domain addresses. And when you look at some of the passwords that people are doing and using, it's atrocious. It's the dog's name, it's the son's name, the daughter's name, and all these types of passwords is just making you incredibly exposed, because our forensics guys, they tell us that if a password is 8 digits or less, it'll take them about 20 seconds to hack your password. If you're using a password multiple times, then if somebody can gain access through these previous data breaches and can access your password, which, as I said, at Emergence alone, we've got 12.3 billion of them, then criminals can use those passwords hoping that you're still using that password. So think about your password, think about using a password manager, think about changing your passwords regularly, because these are the sort of things that are going to compromise you and make it easy for criminals to gain access to your systems. And once they've got access to your systems, then that ugly road of identity theft, it starts to become very live.
All right.
That it for you, Troy?
Pretty much. I'm just typing one last one, and then it's nothing else has has come
Okay.
through, Jerry.
Okay. So on behalf of Emergence, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. We know you've got many demands on your time. As Tim mentioned, if you need access to the portal or you need your password reset, just email us at info@emergenceinsurance.com.au. For your information, all our previous webinars are also available anytime on YouTube. Just search for Emergence Insurance on YouTube and you'll find them all there. We'll also send you a short survey to gain your feedback on today's webinar and to get your thoughts on what cyber-related topics you'd like to see in future webinars. We'd really appreciate if you could complete the survey in the next few days. We will use your feedback to plan our webinars for the rest of 2020 and beyond. The next webinar in our series will be in November, so keep an eye out for that. We'll send you an invite over the next, in the few weeks beforehand. So before I leave you, share a thought for the day with you. That's all we have for you today. Thank you again for your time and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thank you.